And here we go. We are live for another wonderful episode of VPR Radio. It's a pleasure always to be here with my amazing partner, DJ FMI. Welcome to everyone. How you feeling, partner?
I'm feeling pretty good. Yesterday I finished up a charity event on Staten Island, and just seeing all the raffles go out and seeing all the teachers and some of the people that attended this charity event,
Yeah,
and it warmed my heart. To see
beautiful.
some wholesome things like that in New York City, around the world. It always does something for me, VPR, especially being on here Thursdays with you guys that I love to communicate with and toss some ideas and think pieces apart. So,
Definitely. So what kind of charity event was it? I love charity events. Hi,
it was for PS22,
Mr. Goody.
but one of the more memorable moments of the
I
night,
love you more.
Kiana, I was working with MJB. Marcus, of course, he was holding it down, emceeing
Yeah,
for the night, and I had Centron behind the camera.
beautiful.
Um, there was a moment where he picked one of the raffles, and we got tired. We were giving out raffles for like 2 to 3 hours. Kiana, they were giving out sectional couches, couch sets. Like this was not a regular raffle. They were giving out 70-inch TVs. And the part that got me a little bit, just to pay attention a little bit more, we get ready to pull the ticket. And this gentleman, I was watching him all night. He was with his girlfriend. She was one of the teachers that worked at the school. And they were looking at the raffles. They had a whole bunch, and they were losing. And I'm just looking at them like, damn, I'm not calling a number. And I know I'm not calling a number because I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
And Kiana, the guy ends up winning a trip to Antigua
What?
for 7 days. But this is the kicker, VPR. So after that, we get ready to pull the next ticket, and the next ticket is exactly the same guy. So
Wow.
not only did he win one trip to Antigua for 7 days, fully paid for,
Yeah.
he won a second trip to Antigua for 7 days, fully paid for. And I was just like, how do you get that lucky? So he was
You know what
ecstatic.
it is? That's not even luck. Again, that's like instant results from the law of attraction. Him and his girl bought those tickets with a purpose, right?
She was
They were
heartbroken when she was losing. She seen the Bermuda trip go by. She was tight.
right.
They had like 8 different trips they were giving out just throughout the event. So it was just
How many
hard to
tickets
watch.
would you say that they bought?
I don't even know.
Like
I,
less?
at least by looking at their hand, I
Yeah.
know they already had like 10 tickets. And by this event, Kiana, it was huge. It was one of the
Yeah.
bigger event spaces on Staten Island,
Mhm.
in old Richmond. So full meals. They were paying to be in those seats, but if they won that raffle, it made up for it for those 7 days on that trip.
For
14
sure.
days for him.
But that's literally like that determination to win. They put that into the universe very, very strongly. And I bet you as his wifey was heartbroken, he was like, don't worry, babe, we got this.
You got 14 days paid for.
Yeah, his little determination won him those trips. Hi to everyone. Hi, Joseph. Thank you for
Over
watching.
the end.
Hey, Diamond Tips. Thank you for watching.
And before we bring up our guest,
Yes, I see this beautiful queen is here with us. She has arrived, so I can't wait to bring her up. But go ahead.
yes, guys, I definitely want to make sure you guys please subscribe to us on YouTube. Our numbers are going up, but we are looking to do a giveaway in the next upcoming month. So just pay attention to our YouTube page. We want to do a little small giveaway for you guys that have been tuning in weekly and to show us, our appreciation for you. Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate you so much. So without further ado, let me bring on Miss Lisa Ray. She is an incredible woman who has not just broken boundaries in comedy and entertainment and music, but really created and paved a path for many of the greats that we know today. And she's got such a beautiful spirit. She has such an abundant and rich energy to her. And I don't even want to tell her whole story. I really want her to highlight it for us and talk about her foundation and all. Let's bring her on to VPR Radio. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How you feeling?
Sleepy. My dog would not let me sleep this morning, but I'm okay.
What kind of dog? What kind of dog, if you don't mind me asking?
He's a Morkie. He's a Maltese and a Yorkie mix.
Okay.
He's 9 pounds. He's 9 pounds, and he was just being
everywhere.
I let him hang out in my room. He has a bed in every part of the house, right?
Okay.
So I'm like
that.
I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like rummaging through my shoes, and I'm like,
"No,
get out.
Not now, not this morning. We got something to do.
Not to my shoes. What are we talking about? Are you kidding?"
I know. But he's little, so he wasn't, and I got him. So but I was like, "Get out." I said, get out, please.
Get out. So let's talk about you, because I had the pleasure of meeting you on Dawn of Code Media 31, meeting you on that show and really getting to know you and just falling in love with your spirit and your whole personality. So please tell us your story and your journey through the comedy world, the music world, where you got your start, and then where you are today.
Okay, so the start really, I guess, happened for me. As a little girl, I was really creative. I wrote poetry as a little girl, right? In fact, my first poem I recited for the first Black Congresswoman, Miss Shirley Chisholm, when I was in the second grade. So, I remember that. And if we had social media, then it would have been all over, right?
Okay. That's a way to kick off a career. Okay.
So I've always been, pretty book smart. And, I was a tomboy, then I became a model, from one extreme to the next. And I had a record out some years ago. I had a group called Delicious. It was 3 of us. It was myself, my late sister Maria, and one of my best friends that I grew up with, Tracy Sims. And we were on Rooftop Records. Shout out to Rooftop Records. Shout out to Gusto. They're actually relaunching the record label 100 years later, right? With some new artists, not with me, because I'm 100. No, but so we had a couple of records out, and Teddy Riley produced it. This was like when he was this young guy, really, really young in Harlem. So that was, really our stomping grounds. We was up there and we did the couple of songs with him. And I realized that the music business was really male dominated. And I kind of lost my love for it for that reason. So I kind of stepped away, got into investment banking. I spent 30 years on Wall Street. And
you have lived many lives. I say that, yes.
Yeah. And I'm only 29. So
right. Me too.
Right. So in the interim of doing that, my best friend Diane Gibbs, we used to go to these comedy shows in Harlem, Uptown Comedy Club, and Peppermint Lounge, and we would frequent these comedy places. So I remember us one day being at the Uptown Comedy Club, and she said, we should do this. We should bring this to Queens. So it was really Diane's idea. And she brought it to a place. We started doing it at this place called Echoes. And I was just really kind of helping out, right? Because that was my girl. And so I was like telling all my people, and all my people were coming out, and I was supporting them. And Diane was like, no, Lisa has to be a part of this. It was 5 people initially. Then some people dropped off. I came on. Ultimately, it was Diane and myself who were left standing when the smoke cleared. It was us. We had the passion for it. We loved what we were doing, and we brought the energy to Queens, Cambria Heights. Nobody comes to Queens, but they were coming. I mean, everyone from Puffy to Madonna was up in there on a Tuesday night. If you got off of the airplane at Kennedy Airport or LaGuardia on a Tuesday night, your next stop was Manhattan proper. And one of our first and longtime hosts, and my dear friend, was Talent Harris, right? Now, Talent actually we're still working together, and we're working on some things that are coming up real soon.
He's very, very talented, very, very funny.
Yes, can't spill the tea, but a consummate professional. And we worked with everyone from, Tracy Morgan to Mike Epps, Cheryl Underwood. We've had so many people to just come through. JB Smooth, which is one of my favorite comedians because of his energy. He's very physical with his comedy.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of people you see on mainstream comedy, we help them launch their careers. We help them really get in front of people,
right,
that typically they probably wouldn't have had that opportunity back then. Mm-hmm. Right. And there was no social media, right? There was none of that, but it was all word of mouth, and it was amazing. So that was the comedy journey. And then people were still hiring me. Manhattan Proper closed in 2017. We had a big, grand finale. And during that time, in 2016, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So, which I was like, what is that? I only person I ever really heard of having it at that time was like Lola Falana. And I think one of the Mouseketeers, right? So I'm probably dating myself because I know what a Mouseketeer is, right? So, and which was Annette Funicello, right? One of the original ones, right? And I was having a little bit of balance issues, some slurred speech, and I really wasn't understanding what was going on. You know, I would be rushing to go to the doctor, and then I would trip and fall and turn around and look back. You know, it's the first thing you do. Like, what did I trip on? Nothing. So I was like, okay, I don't know what's happening. So fast forward, some years later, I had a back surgery because I couldn't walk one day. And I had a back surgery, which ultimately meant I was misdiagnosed. And then
Crazy.
4 years later, diagnosed with MS. So from that point, I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to fight this. I know what I was feeling. And I was like, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to live my life. And I've had some ups and downs, some highs and lows, because that's what happens with multiple sclerosis. You know, your immune system attacks your body, and it can affect either your cognitive ability, it can affect your mobility. For me, I sprained my ankle one day and it never got better. So I have something called a drop foot. So it's like my foot just kind of flopped. So have you ever seen anybody walking, kind of dragging their foot like Frankenstein? You've seen that. We've all seen that.
For sure.
Either they had a stroke or they have multiple sclerosis. So yeah, that's what it was. That's kind of what it is. But I'm like, the devil's a liar, and I'm on a mission to, you know, encourage people and inspire people to not buy into what they're dealing with and to live their lives, whatever that is. I travel. I'm going away this weekend. Tomorrow I'll be going away. You know, I travel. I'm going to a wedding in Cleveland, a
Nice.
family wedding. You know, one of my young cousins is getting married. And so, but again, I'm doing what I need to do. I work. The doctors will tell you you can't work. The doctors will tell you you can't drive. I drive. I work part-time. I am on disability. But the blessing is that over COVID, I started the nonprofit Angels Hearts for Hope Foundation to raise awareness for multiple sclerosis. And I am the CEO and founder. I have an incredible board that knows me personally and believes in me, knows, you know, my drive. And, you know, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm actually in graduate school now to pursuing my master's in disability studies. So I can help everybody, because it's not just about MS. We know people that have lupus or sarcoidosis or diabetes or whatever. So everybody needs help.
Everybody needs help. That's a very powerful statement. And I think that what is so profound about you, because what happens, right? And we were talking before you came in about the power of the mindset. The doctor tells you you can't, and you fall into that. That's exactly where you're going to be, right? You can't stop living because you have some sort of disability or even obstacles in life, right? That can really just bog you down. If
Correct.
you persevere and push through, you can truly be astounded at what you can do, and the power of then transforming that into helping others, because you know how many others, like you said, even not just with MS, but with other issues. And it really messes with your mental health and so many other areas. And when you can connect with people that are there and understand that, that is just really a very transformative message. And yeah.
Yeah, no.
Women's Month are the one.
Thank you. To God be the glory. It's not even about me. And I realize that, you know, things happen in life and you don't understand why. And people say, oh, don't say why me. But no. I definitely am saying why me, because I want to understand why me. But what I do know is that God trusts me in this trial, because I'm not thinking about myself. It's not about me. It's about me listening to my body, fighting to live, to be better, to be strong, and also encouraging others to do that. Because there's a lot of people that don't have any family members, that are living alone, that are by themselves. And people really lose hope because the messaging sometimes is, you know, you can't do it. I have friends that are in scooters and wheelchairs. And I'm like, come on, let's travel, let's go. And some of us are traveling this summer. We're going to Panama for the Ultimate Solarscape. Yeah. So
okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll be going there, hanging out, and, you know, comedy show, Jada Kiss, music, just enjoying life, beautiful people, great weather, fun, whatever. And I still dance. I will shake a leg. Trust me. When I'm feeling good,
amen.
Listen, So let me send you the video. You'll see me.
As
With your
you
bop.
should.
Yes,
Lisa,
yes.
so I also seen that you produced a mini play, Life is Poetic. Can you tell me about that?
So Life is Poetic actually is a 1-hour play that I came up with as a result of writing my book. So this is my book, right? This is my poetry book. So what I did was I work at York College radio station. And so I edit shows, I play music, I do all of the above. So I was able to pick the music for the play, edit it in the studio, 20 minutes, knocked it out. Imagine if you had to pay somebody to do that now. I'm just saying that's a blessing right there. And
Cutting
I
out
had
the
this,
middleman is always a good thing.
and I had a vision to bring my poetry to life, right? Because this is all inspired by God. It's all encouraging and empowering messages here. So I have some millennials in there, and I have some seasoned people like myself. And so there are different monologues and skits within the play, Life is Poetic, which speaks about overcoming adversity. So that is the message right there. And it's really, it's really a great message. And when I opened up with a monologue called Frustrated, and the way I come out and the music and all, if you go to my website, you'll hear the music that I have on, which I feel kind of describes to me as by Kiera Sheard.
And what's your website? Drop that real quick for us.
Okay. It's angels with an S, heartsforhope.org. So angelsheartsforhope.org. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook as well. So same name, Angels Hearts for Hope. And so long story short, I had this vision and I had these young people to participate in it with the music already done. And we've done this play 5 times, so much so that people were like, "You ready to go on the road?" I said, "No, I don't want to just get cocky and feel like I want to build. I want to build. I want to grow and learn as I'm doing these things. I'm not in a rush to get somewhere. I want to know what I'm talking about. I want to be able to relay a message that people can feel and understand and believe and know that this is true." So in the monologue called Frustrated, it's like I'm speaking to the people sharing about MS. And so those people that were in the audience at the time when I did a private showing that had MS, they were in the audience crying because I was telling their story. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So now, I wasn't born this way. I used to run in a pair of 4-inch heels just a few years ago. Like if you really check my background, you're gonna see, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that was who she was," right? So this happened to me, and I'm like, okay, all right, but I'm still gonna show up. I'm still gonna live. I always tell people, look at me from the ankles up. But recently, I received a new device to help me walk, so I'm getting used to that. But again, it's about overcoming adversity and helping people to believe in themselves so they can realize their full potential, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I believe the book is on your website, right? For those that are interested in purchasing. I know I grabbed a copy as well.
Well, it's on actually the Eventbrite. It's not on my website, which it should be, but I just don't have it. I think with this, I've just been more personal with it, doing book signings. Okay. If people need to reach me, they call me, I'll sign it, I'll deliver it, or we'll get together over a cup of coffee or something to eat. And then I'm also a contributing author to this book called The Reveal. So The Reveal, 10 powerful testimonies, 10 authors of overcoming adversity, The Reveal. And this is with Ziza Publishing, which is my publisher, Ziza Publishing. They also published this book, Angel's Heart Guided by Light. And again, this is all inspired by God. It was what he was giving to me as I was going through rehabilitation, as I was healing. And then I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. I have to publish this. I have a book. So I reconnected with the gift that I had from a little girl when I was, say, 7 years old, writing poetry. And then at 50, I revisit, I'm writing, I have books. You know what I mean? It's like this, it came back, but that's the way that I believe God speaks to me. And if you have something, you need to share it. You need to share it with the world.
Agreed. You're muted, partner.
Oh, I see. I was sitting there talking VPR. As I sit here and I'm just thinking about What does your morning routine look like? You know, I know you have to have like a hardened mind just to deal with things on the regular and also looks and people and that such. So what does your morning routine look like? And how do you just keep your mind so hardened?
So it's interesting that you asked me what my morning routine is like, because one of the things that I would like to do, I'm going to ask my son to videotape me what it takes for me to get ready in the morning. And I want to share it with people so they can see, because the finished product, when people see the finished product, they're like, oh, she's good. You know, my friends will go out and we'll be walking and sometimes they're taking off. I'm like, excuse me, hello. And they're like, oh, Lisa, we forget. They're like, well, you do everything. You do everything. So they don't look at me as having a disability. You understand? Which is great. And I appreciate that. However, I'm like, can you slow down? You know, like, so.
Yeah, walk that fast.
Of course.
So, well, you know, it's sometimes I go to bed late at night. Typically I do. I'm a night person mostly, right? And then
true entrepreneur, right? Like that's in New York. I mean, do you have early nights, FMI?
Man, I was up till 4 a.m. before I woke up in 3 hours, to be honest.
I slept last night because I didn't even sleep the last night. I slept, I literally worked straight through the whole night.
The life of a hustling entrepreneur.
And I understand that. And it's I mean, you know, I was doing some schoolwork last night, and then it just sometimes it's hard for me to relax and fall asleep. It takes a while for my body to relax and calm down. But eventually I fall asleep and I'm like, okay, I don't know when I fell asleep. But anyway, that's just how it happens. And then I'll get up maybe between 10:30 or so. And I have to have breakfast before I leave because I work part-time. And so when we're done here, I'll be getting ready to go to work. So I'll just have breakfast and maybe see what's on the news, that kind of thing. Maybe see if anybody, you know, calling me, hit me up, whatever. While I was asleep, they shouldn't be, but you know, and that's it. Just preparing for my day, and then you know, my focus is on work. You know, and I work with a bunch of you know, young people at York College. You know, we've got a lot of shows going on, so I'm producing shows there, helping them to learn how to deal with podcast. You know, I teach podcast workshops as well. So it's a great experience to be able to give back. And then, you know, young people keep you young. You know what I mean? So they keep you young, and I have a pretty good relationship with the young people that come through. So the job is wonderful. It's fun. It's definitely not Wall Street. Wall Street is, you know, I mean, you have to use your brain, but it's very fast paced.
Right.
And very demanding. And, you know, it was a complete different world. And here I'm able to still be creative, you know what I mean? And
all of those different areas that you need, right? To really
Exactly. Yeah. And so sometimes though, I do end up going to therapy, and I'll get up so early in the morning and I'll take Accessoride into the city to NYU for my therapy, because I'm in therapy right now. So I'm in therapy because I have a frozen shoulder, and then, you know, I'm in therapy, and then I work out with a personal trainer once a week. So I'm pushing, trying to figure it out. Yesterday, I was so exhausted that I went to this place called the Water Bar, and I get these foot detox that takes all the toxins out of your body, and you're relaxed. Your feet soaking.
VPR foot detox sounds good right now. Yeah, I'm just like, it sounds like something better I can't get at the nail salon.
It's very relaxing, and it's also cleansing. You know, it's taking the toxins out of your body. So I was like, I have to go there. I need this. And then I also drink hydrogen water or alkaline water. So that's important. And I do have 1 cup of coffee a day, which I have it right here. Listen, I'm Puerto Rican and Black. I'm mixed. Yeah. And, you know, growing up, even as a little girl, my mother used to stop at the Spanish bakery when we were staying in El Barrio. And she would get the cafe con leche and the hot bread. Like, I had
that in Puerto Rico.
I know, my grandma.
I had it there too.
Yeah.
I had it there too. And it's what an experience. Like, oh my. So as a, you know, I'm in first grade drinking coffee, like, you know. But it was so good.
Second grade, I was drinking tea, reciting poems to Shirley Chisholm. Like
yes. It was amazing. It was amazing. So, you know, I'm a coffee drinker. I like a good flavored coffee.
I'm gonna say, as I got older, I do like my coffee stronger. You don't need to put all that milk and sugar in it. But Lisa, tell us about some upcoming projects that you're working on right now. I know you spoke about a few, but just to refresh our minds before we.
Okay. So the main thing that's coming up right now, guys, is on March 22nd, which happens to be my birthday. And I just want to share with everyone that March is Women's Month, which is also MS Awareness Month. March is also MS Awareness Month. So, and my birthday, March 22nd. So with that in mind, we're doing a book drive, fundraiser, birthday celebration virtually, right?
Yeah.
On March 22nd at 7:30 p.m. Talent will be hosting. This is the second annual. Last year we did it. Ralph McDaniels hosted it last year, which was amazing. You know, he's dealing with the whole 50th hip hop anniversary. So he's really busy, but I'm constantly in touch with Ralph. Yeah. And if he can pop on, he's definitely going to pop on. But Talent will be hosting along with my son, Bryce Valle. And we are going to have Queens legends Frickin' Frack speak about the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and also Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and Lifetime Grammy recipient Raheem of the Furious Five. So Grandmaster Flash and Furious Five. So he's going to be on, and he's an OG, and he's going to explain, and he's going to talk about the history of hip hop. And I have some other surprises that I can't really let out the bag. So if people are interested, you're going to get some funny. You're going to get some history about hip hop. We got a DJ playing old school hip hop. We're going to toast it up to your favorite drink, and we're just going to have a good time. It was amazing last year. We're selling some books. There's both of my books will be on sale, as well as Once a Cop by Corey Pegues, who is the former deputy inspector for New York City. And so he's on my board, and we'll also be selling his books as well. And we'll be going to be giving out some gifts, some surprises. I've got some MS bracelets here. Look, I'm trying to, these bracelets, they're different ones. They're black. I have some for guys too, but you know, the colors are black and orange, and some are all black, you know, for the guys, you know, the guys. But I have different ones. So I'm going to, as many as I can give away, I would like to give away. And so we will be receiving donations. If people are interested in donating even now, they can go to the website. They can do it via PayPal at angelsheartsforhope.org, or they can Zelle Angels Heart, no S, MS at Gmail. And this way, it'll go straight to the business account. Doesn't come to me. Nothing comes to Lisa. Even my books I use as a platform. So I have an opportunity I do poetry live also, and I share about the organization. So all my proceeds for the books go straight to the business account. Does not come to me. I work. So let's be clear, guys. I'm on disability and I work part-time. The funds that I receive, we're using to help others. And we recently helped a woman get $700 glasses. She was denied disability, and the MS, she was recently diagnosed, the MS affected her vision. So she needed to get these glasses. We were able to help her get those glasses. And so if people need assistance, all they have to do is hit me up. They need co-pay assistance, whatever. We are here to help. Again, I have an incredible board.
A true nonprofit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Donations are going back into the company, back to the people that need it.
Correct.
That is so great, because unfortunately we see so many of these foundations that dilute their funds and hide them and
shift them around.
This is your baby, right? You know that the people need
it's my name.
Yeah.
Angel is my name. So that's my middle name. And I believe I was named that for a reason. So no. I don't play when it comes to that. Your integrity is everything. Yeah. And we're transparent, and we're here to help. So don't be prideful, ashamed. If someone needs help out there that has MS, all you have to do is contact me, and we're here to help you. So we're raising funds to give back. Right. Raising to give back.
That's right. So guys, make sure that you go and make your donation, and I'll make sure that I get that Eventbrite link, because I'll definitely be attending. Partner, if you're free, definitely pull up. It's going to be a great night. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll have my bottle, that coconut wine that I shared with you.
Yes.
I didn't even know you could drink wine with coconut. Sounds like a weird mix, VPR. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like drinking a light pina colada.
It's light. Yes,
okay, all right.
It's tasty. It's
very tasty.
Smooth. Yes.
Come on, partner.
Lisa, before we wrap up the interview, can you please tell everyone where they could find you, or your social media, or your handles, and we'll go from there.
So on Instagram, I am the real _ Lisa Ray. The real _ Lisa Ray. Also, I have Angels Hearts for Hope Foundation on Instagram. And then on Facebook, I am Angel Ray. And I also have Angels Hearts for Hope Foundation on Facebook as well. And I also have a Twitter. I don't use as much, but I guess I got to get into it. I don't know. But that's Lisa Angel Ray. And yeah, and that's it. And again, they can go into the website. They can subscribe to the website, which is angelsheartsforhope.org. And if they subscribe, they'll get an email from me. If they have questions, they can send me an email and we can keep in contact with each other. And then this way they can stay abreast of anything that we're doing, any events. We've done pop-up shops. We've shared the space with other businesses Black-owned businesses to support them, but at the same time, raising awareness and getting in front of people that typically wouldn't know about it. You need to know about this because you may have a friend, you may have a family member, and God forbid, it will never, come down your path, but you may know someone, and if you share this information with them, it'll be helpful because it's about sharing information. What works for me may not work for you, but what doesn't work for me may work for you. So we have to be transparent. I'm happy to be transparent because I don't care. Some people don't want to draw attention, but I'm confident with who I am. So I'm all right. It's okay.
Right. Yeah. I love that.
I love the sound of that, VPR.
I love that. And I do want you guys to know that if you go to the Instagram page, you can also make donations through there as well, through the Angels Hearts for Hope. So Lisa, you're amazing. I can't wait for your birthday party virtually. So we'll get that Eventbrite out to make sure that as many people as possible can attend, get a book, come and network with all of the powerful people that will be in the room. And before you go, we love to leave and ask our guests to go with a message of love. And this is what you emit so naturally. So what is your message of love for us today?
So my message of love is, okay, I'm going to just say this. One of the things that I say all the time, it's not about a disability. It's about an ability. And we all have that, right? So I'm working on this movement, which is new, and it's don't count us out. So put yourself in that space and remember, don't count us out. We all have an ability. So that's my message.
I love it, VPR. Every Thursday we are here. Lisa, thank you for coming to the show. We appreciate you. And we look forward to having you back.
Definitely. And we'll see
you guys.
I'll text you.
All right. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
God bless you too. We'll talk to you.
Have a great day. Okay.
Awesome. I can't wait till Namel comes through. This is going to be, this episode has been so phenomenal and so enriching and full of love. I love when we can, have these messages of hope that really just come through because so many people are in despair for their own reasons and turmoil. And to know that you have people that genuinely do care and love and want to help, that's everything, right?
Yeah. And just to see all the work she's done, this in different fields.
She's so humble.
And she's not old. Almost like she looks super young. I'm just sitting here like, wow.
She was in the club at like 6, like we were talking behind the scenes with Dawn. She was in the club, mad young, like
I'm just like
comedy shows. And
how is she getting here with the comedy shows there, working with Ralph McDaniels?
That's how it was back then, though. I was clubbing at 15 and 16. You didn't even
in Belize. I was doing that, Kiana. In America, I couldn't do that. When I went to my country, I was doing that.
They're scanning IDs and all of that, but that technology didn't exist back then, partner. You know what I mean? So if you wanted to go in at 14, 15, you could get in if you look old enough and if you look sexy enough.
Man, I know we reminisce upon the old times VPR, but I will never not miss having a beeper, having people being able to call me wherever I was. Like the cell phone right now, business is good, VPR. All right. DJ FMI is busy, booked, and full. All right. Yes, but that phone be buzzing sometimes in the middle of the night and you just don't want to pick it up.
Yeah. That's why I definitely be keeping it on do not disturb for
I gotta stop in that do not disturb sleep mode.
Yeah,
all of that and the difference of the
you need to set that up, partner. Like it's so important for that self-care, especially as we get busy. And I think it's tremendous because we asked for this. A friend of mine told me the other day, she was like, yo, we talked about this. You said this on the train. And I was like, what did I say to you? This was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. She said, you said you want it all. You want all the shit, all
You
the
be
things.
sounding like me,
Like,
and I'll be sounding like you.
right, right. And we always sound like each other, right?
That's, yeah.
Energy. But it's so true. You can't ask for it and then not be prepared to pay the price, right? But the price doesn't have to be your sanity. The price doesn't have to be your integrity, like we were talking about with Lisa. And the price doesn't have to be your sleep and stuff either, right? You can set those boundaries for sure, partner. So put those boundaries in place. You'll feel better.
I need to definitely just to protect my my mental space and just so I can recharge my batteries. But speaking about integrity and those things.
Okay.
So it is 2023. I thought the real world and like, you know, the real wives of like the housewives shows like that would be the pinnacle of reality TV, right?
Okay.
Boy, was I wrong, VPR. I woke up today just to a news article saying Nick Cannon and Kevin Hart are working on a new show. Let me get the name right. I'm going to do this right because we're on VPR here. So they're working on a new show named Who's Having My Baby? Yeah, so right now, guys, Nick Cannon is having a game show, I think hosted by Kevin Hart, upon who's going to be having his next child. I don't know really what child.
Both of them.
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon is a Libra, right?
He is. Hey, I still got love for him though. You know, he don't move with a bad heart. He taking care of all his kids, and I can never knock a man taking care of all his kids. But he got like 9.
Something like that.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, VPR, wrap it up. All right, kids are expensive. I say that all the time. School's expensive. Food's expensive. Eggs are going up. Oranges are going up. Gas is going up. Everything's going up, and people are still getting their butt fills. So with that being said, like just just stay above the water, play above the rim.
Yeah, I mean, listen, things are silly. Chris is asking about our merch. Check our website soon. We actually have some new exclusive designs being mocked up right now. So like within the next month or so, we're gonna have some great merch, and you'll see me and my partner wearing it up. So
decked out, draped out in that purple.
Okay, you already know because it's all about the royalty. I see that Waterz has stepped into the room, so I definitely want to bring him up. We saw him recently, you know, at the Grammys with Ramped and the rest of the team.
He's been running and getting around, and I've been wanting to catch up with him for this interview. It has been far too long, VPR.
It has been.
Far too long.
So let's bring him in. What's up, fam? How are you?
What's up? What's going on,
brother?
What's going on?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Hey, I'm feeling great on this Thursday morning, man. I got
you. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all.
Yeah, you too. Feeling inspired. I mean, we were really just so honored to have the guests that we have on today, and we know that there's just a lot of messages of hope and love and stuff going out. So we've interviewed you before, Namel, and we do want to run through your story, but then we also want to talk about things that have been ramping up, right? Pun intended, for you as of recently. And what's going on currently in your career. So tell us how you got started. Tell us about your story.
Oh yeah, so started far as when like I got started. I got 2 starts. The first start,
both, right?
Yeah, the first start is as a kid, like 5th grade, playing the bass guitar and the regular guitar in St. Augustine, like 5th grade, 6th grade. That's like my introduction to music, and then rapping. 15, 16 years old, being part of a group called Nova that was under another older group called Lee Cartel. And that's how I really got started into music. Since I was a kid up to 17, then got shot and left paralyzed. Cousin was playing around with a gun, left me paralyzed. And then I came out of that searching for my new voice and my new identity, which led me to meeting Rick, who's also in a wheelchair before me, and Rick was producing, and we teamed up, started working together over the few years. And we started 4 Wheel City first, and 4 Wheel City to inspire, educate, advocate, entertain. That's why we throw up the 4s. And that pretty much started you could say like my ascendance into like the music industry itself, and being more noticed on that like the music industry platforms with 4 Wheel City. And we through that we was able to like go to the White House to speak, perform United Nations. I think we're the first group of rappers to like. I was thinking about this today because I seen a picture like to perform at City Hall, New York City, Capitol Hill, the White House, and United Nations. So we did that, and we've been working on a lot of initiatives and I guess things to like bring more awareness to people's needs with disabilities, especially accessibility, inspiring people to never give up, inclusion in music. And that path led me to being part of RAMP. And RAMP is a new organization that just being formed. See, I'm rocking the hat. We just got the hats.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to pause right there for a second, because if you guys are listening closely, right, you'll see that. And again, it's like this transformative energy is something that could have been so painful for you in your life, right? You used it to give back and to have a message of hope. And then that turned into something else. And then as you use that to give back and present this message of hope, that then turned into something else. You ever sit back and reflect about that?
I actually do. And I feel like a lot of the purpose, my purpose, I feel like it comes down to purpose. When you have a purpose, doors will open. And excuse the siren, that's New York City streets out there.
Definitely.
There it is. So I feel like I have a purpose, and that purpose is guiding me in those right paths. But you have to be able to help the purpose and God and the universe, whether you believe in that or not. You got to be willing to like do your part when it comes to those doors opening. You gotta show up and show out. I call it show up and show out. Right. And that's part of it, but you got to take those first steps and be able to like knock on the door, or somebody knock on your door, be ready to answer it and answer the calling, and then follow the signs. If you pay attention, it will start telling you what's the next thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll be doing most of the time. Just be following the signs.
Facts.
VPR, I'm following the signs, and the other day I'm always scouring for new music online. So, I just went on World Star just to check it out. And when I'm sitting there, to my kind surprise, I'm looking, I'm like, hold on. That Mr. Waterz right there. I'm like, I know that guy. I'm like, he was on VPR.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I definitely seen your video on World Star. I watched it, and I was just like, hey man, I love to see that you just continue putting your foot on their neck and just continue doing your thing out here, man. And all the comments that was raining in. I definitely want to pull up the video mid-interview and just, show it to some of our viewers.
Oh
to get a feel for it. Just give me a second, guys.
Yeah.
And while he does that, finish talking to us about RAMPed as we talk about different doors.
RAMP. So RAMP is an acronym as well. It stands for Recording Artists and Music Professionals with Disabilities. And it was started by myself and Lachi, who's a EDM artist, and she's pretty dope. And she's like the leader, got everybody together.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of other disabled artists that's part of it, and we're working with the Grammys right now to push for inclusion in music. And that's kind of what took my path to the Grammys. And this video right here is actually showing a lot of those highlights from me just attending this year's Grammys. It's called Never Take Me Out the Game. And but go ahead, I'm gonna show you a little bit about this every show.
You guys can hear it clearly?
Yo, I'm just a paralyzed savage guy. Tell the truth, I tell no lies. Strategies, I strategize. Battle tears, I battle cry. Will I survive? Most will die. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why. Just hold your nose and close your eyes. The flow is wet and never dry. A pussy wet and never dry.
Don't
See
fold.
how the likes to ride. Her birthday suit is cute and fly. She likes me in my suit and tie. I changed my heart to change my mind. To change the art, to change the grind. We living in some crazy time. It's water, yo, I'm back outside. It's now or never, man. I'm trying to come up and live this life forever, man. It dirt when I'm now I'm a better man. They want to see me lose it all. I told them never again. No way, no how. No way, going back. No way, no how.
Love the record. Love the energy.
Absolutely. And love that suit too, by the way.
Clean.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to
Clean.
clean. I had to get clean and nice on them.
Royal.
You know,
Feel me?
Royal at
and
the Grammys.
yeah, I had to rock that purple. You know, that purple
Come
is a
on now.
powerful color.
Come through
Yeah,
with the purple and the gold.
yeah.
Come
That
on
royalty.
now.
Yeah, and it's so ironic as we say this is it's so crazy because this video, just the whole thing is kind of very organic and spiritual because like speaking of purple, like so it was in the Staples Center. It's called the crypto.com, but I still call it the Staples Center. And you know, so I'm big on sevens and stuff. And so when I went, I was like, never take me out the game. I was like, you know, that is like, it's gonna be an arena. Let me get some footage of all this. And then it turns out that like as soon as I come back home, so this is crazy. I was there and I'm sitting on the banners. It's in the video. You might not see it's a shot that zooms in and it goes onto the banners. And there's a banner of a 99, which is the year I got shot in the Raptors in the Staples Center. And it's in white.
Wow.
All the rest one's in purple and it's in white. It's like, and it's the first one.
Wow.
And so, you know, the artwork for this has Kobe on it. And you see the 24 Kobe band is up there. 24. I made 24 years in a wheelchair this year. So I come home on the 7th. That same day, LeBron James is breaking the record for the scoring title. As soon as I get home, I see it in the same building. And know what the point he scored was? 99. Then, if you pay attention, Beyonce just broke a record in that same building. That same day I was there. Then yesterday, just the other night, on the 7th again, they retired Paul Casal's number. Like out of nowhere, these banners had to make themselves present, right? Like so people can see these banners, right? Yeah. And guess what number they was retiring? 16 was the day I got shot.
Right, the 16 and the 99.
And the 99 on the 7th, both times, all in this building. I was there.
Yeah.
And I'm from New York City.
When you're capturing numbers like that, like not everybody's eyes are drawn to like numbers, right? But like the more that you spiritually ascend, you'll notice that your eyes are just drawn to specific.
Yeah.
Attention to that, because sometimes seriously it'll match and you'll be like, whoa, and it really makes you understand, like you said, the power of your purpose, right?
Yeah. So when I watch this video now that all these things is occurring, I'm like, wow, like it's like the moment is so like monumental to me now because it's like all encapsulated in this video and I'm there. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what's going on in that building, but there's a lot of magical things happening there. Yeah, but I was there. Yeah, I was there, and I'm like, wow. So it's all in alignments, right? Yeah. So when you speak about purple, and I was wearing the purple and gold, so it's a representation. So I look at that video like it's a representation of something that's higher than myself that's in there that a lot of people probably won't notice, but it's a powerful message in there.
Yeah.
Hey man, as long as it means something to you and you know it, and the video was shot beautifully. I enjoy it, so I'm pretty sure other people enjoy that also. Yeah. My next question to you is: describe your favorite and least favorite part about being a musician.
Ooh, let me see. My favorite would be. I think my favorite is the randomness of like depending on how like creative you are, like being an artist of any kind. I think the creativity, like the having the means to create something and if you're passionate about it, it like coming to fruition of having an idea, recording it, and hearing it, and then like. A perfect example of everything I just said about this song and everything. The way things manifest when you do art is a beautiful thing. That's what I love about it. And most music is bigger than the artist because that's what art is. It's like expression, but it goes out. So I feel like that's a privilege when you get to be able to express it, but also it takes on a life of its own and actually goes out to the world. That's like a privilege right there. And then the least thing, I just think as being a musician, I love all of it really, but I think in the times we're living in now,
let me hear
Yeah, I wish art was a little more I don't want to say curated, but there was some kind of like we had some kind of standard when it comes to um quality control in terms of just knowing who's who and what's what, and people actually having some kind of credibility to like say
Mhm.
certain things, be certain people.
Yeah.
I've seen over the years that artists are more becoming the brand, and if you could sell the brand good enough, people will buy into it. Like Travis Scott, he knows how to sell the brand. Look at all the things that he's been through in his career.
He's
But
dope.
you know what I mean? He turns it around. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
You have to go through a lot as an artist, and
Yeah, there's a lot of politics involved and a lot
yeah,
of
I'll get into that.
all
Yeah.
that stuff. I try not to get into all that, because I've been doing music for a long time, and I
We
like
too
the
grown for
challenge.
that.
Yeah, I always my thing. I look at music like a challenge. I don't want to do what everybody think or say what everybody want to hear. I want to like bring you into my world and like see if I'm good enough to like accomplish, like pull that off. Because I feel like those are the best artists. Like when they can like tell you what they want to hear, and you have like the longevity when you can actually bring people into your world and not just doing things because people want to hear it.
Well, I think you said something that was very profound in talking about the responsibility, right? And how much of an honor it is in understanding that your music is bigger than you, and
Mhm.
it's an extension of your creativity, but then it brings this message, right? So depending on what type of message that you're bringing, as is going to the masses, they're going to be receiving that message, right? So when you're
Yeah.
sending out a message of negativity, they're going to be receiving that. When you're sending out a message of positivity and hope and strength and alignment, they're going to be receiving that, and understanding, like you said, that like credibility, that's a
Mm.
big thing.
Hey Kiana, and it's funny that we never see the other side of hip hop. Like we do see like the negative side of the rapping, but I
Yes.
wonder if the rapper actually like meets his listener and he's like, "Hey, I picked up a gun the other day because you said to."
Mhm.
Like I wonder if that interaction happens. You know what I mean? Other than just
That should be a reality show.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's so funny you say that because I've been doing this Adventures to Mr. Waterz things, and sometimes when I do my trips, I have so much footage that I'm working on. I ask people these questions, like when I was in Vegas, I was asking people about Biggie and Tupac. Speaking of which, I got on my Biggie shirt today.
March 9th,
And you can
right?
see,
you feel me?
today is his anniversary. I was
Yeah.
asking people because I got the song immortalized, asking all these, what if Biggie and Tupac are still alive? So I was asking people, and then it was touching on gun violence a little bit. And you'd be surprised how many people actually like want to hear different messages in music.
Yeah.
Like it was really surprising to me to hear people like be so forthcoming. Like they talk about guns too much or they do this too much, and I was like really surprised. Like without me having like to egg them on to say that, like people just naturally
I'm not
like
surprised.
calling out the music. It was surprising to me.
It's not surprising to me because I don't believe we know that they're, the people are not the owners of the music industry, right? Even the people that have created hip hop. So when it
Yeah.
comes to messaging, that's not something that's curated by us. And a lot of times the message becomes diluted or sexed
Yeah.
up. It's not sexy enough. It's not raunchy enough. It's not this. And then they might not take
the
That's
finished
true.
product gets
and
changed
that's
by
the
the time
power
it
of
goes
the
out.
machine. But it just shows you, right? Like even from a data analysis perspective, most people are not looking for that type of messaging, but
They
the
not.
messaging is being sent out to kind of keep this,
Yeah.
of violence and things that we have going on. So
Yeah,
it's really
it's a facade. They know what they're doing in terms of like, keep it young, keep it dangerous.
yeah.
Programming at its best.
Yeah. And well, with Four Wheel City, I always was like, I met what's his name? Fat Man Scoop one time, and I this was like years ago. Maybe I went to this like a disability day at High 97, and I had seen him, but he remembered me from a parade or one of the African Day parade I had gave him. This one I was like promoting like mixtape CDs and like with previews of my songs on it. And I was like, we was taking a picture. I was like, yo, throw up the 4 for Four Wheel City. He was like, yo, hey, Four Wheel City, I got that. That shit is hot. And then he was like, yo, keep doing what you're doing. It's gonna take a long time though. I was like, why did he say that? But
You see,
I understand though. I understand why he said that now. It's like gonna take a long time though. But he liked the music.
He didn't
But
want you
when
to
he
stop.
said that to me, he knew, he understood that like
This is
it's
not
gonna
what
it's
this
gonna different.
person
Yeah.
wants, but
it's the
Yeah.
don't stop.
messaging,
But
Yeah.
don't stop.
and that's why we have these, podcasts where we break that down. Because
Yeah.
if we don't make these spaces where every artist can get their play for their individuality, and
That's
we're not
true.
just all sounding like drill and trap, and I love it,
Right.
but at the same time, I know what that music comes with. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
have to be aware of that, and it's my responsibility as a DJ. So I get what he's saying in that regard.
Yeah.
But
I love the drill and trap music too. I
it's the
like
energy
all the
about
music.
it.
Yeah.
The messaging is wrong, but the energy and the beat selection.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think what's crazy is like we're adults, right? So we can break down the messaging and understand it and be able to listen to it. But not every young person has that same level of discernment or even has a parent to tell them, listen, okay, I understand you're listening to this, but let's talk about it, right? Let's break it
Yeah.
down. Like that's a
Yeah.
power of. I remember even as my kids got into hip hop, I'm like, I don't want to stop you from listening to certain things, but I want you to understand what you're listening to and not start thinking this way or creating this mindset. But they were raised differently. So, if you're not, and these are just kids that are on the streets and that's all they know is pain and
Yeah.
hurt and hustling
Anger.
and anger, right? It's just going to keep that momentum
Yeah.
going. So, I love that you bring forth these messages that are very inspiring and connect with, you understand the life. You got shot with a gun
Mhm.
that you were messing around with. Like, it's not a game, right? Everybody thinks it's funny until it happens to them.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why I don't judge. I kind of, one of the reasons why I started going to schools and speaking with youth and stuff is because I was like, I know they probably feel so judged when people talk to them. And they need to see like a real perspective of somebody. I don't judge. I'm not there to judge no young person or nobody who wants to do whatever. I just feel like, for as far as my position is like, I got shot with a gun that I shot before, right? I was 17 years old, but my path still was going places. So I try to like give both a balanced like idea of what's coming, So one thing you could say is like, yeah, he's just saying stuff, but you can't take the truth away from me. So that
That's
truth is
right.
valid. You know what I mean? And
It will
I
always
just see
be
it like,
valid.
yeah, so I just see it like planting the seed, planting the seed and letting people just like decipher for themselves from there, because you can't take the realness away from that. Because I'm like a genuine person, so I'm not a hypocrite or nothing I'm saying.
And that's
Because I come
necessary.
from that place. I come from that place.
Right. You come from that place so you can understand it. And these kids need to understand from a perspective of someone that has come from there, right? You're not coming to them. You're coming to them and telling them a real story. Like you said, that validity can't be questioned when you're
And
sitting
that's not judging them.
without
And that's not judging them.
And it helps to
But
see
that's what a
somebody
lot
that
of
looks
people
like
do. They
them
judge
also.
the kids. You can't judge them. I try not to judge them at all. And I do a lot of mentoring too. I speak to people that get injured, and people call me sometimes. They be like, they usually call me when this person not talking at all. And when I go speak to them, usually because there's like a lot of judgment. They feel like people don't understand. But when you understand, and it's like you give people that space to be themselves, that's when you can actually like start to have a conversation with them. You can't you can't just like
it's a safe
put
space,
people
right?
down.
You're creating a safe space.
Safe space, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta let people feel how they feel, be who they are, and then take it from there.
Right.
And that's the way it should be done. And just to touch back on our conversation with hip hop, I do want to get to a place where we just hold each other a little bit more accountable as far as what we do with the messaging, because I'm a DJ. I got to listen to people I don't want to listen to all the time for hours, for 6 hours, doing set after set after set after. So,
because that's what the client wants, right?
Yeah. And then after a while, you're just like, wow. Like I sit in the car, like last night, I just sat there listening to disco, 70s. I need to get away from it. Alternative music, things like that, just from hip hop. And I just feel like we need to hold ourselves a little bit more accountable just with our messaging in order to change the way the world views hip hop. Because hip hop is the only genre of music that is just viewed strange through a lens.
I mean, but it's a lens that was created, right?
But
We're
it's the highest
Yeah,
but it's the
definitely.
highest paying platform when it comes to
highest paying
musicians.
platform.
That's what bugs
but
me out.
Our artists are at risk constantly for being shot and killed, right? At any random interval. I mean, for sure. And again, understanding that power of ascension, because you've listened to that for so long, you knew that you had to go decompress, right? You had to like unwire that stuff out of your head. But like the ones that are listening to it 24/7, living that life, waking up with that energy, going to sleep with that energy.
Yeah,
that's what we're seeing a lot of, and it needs to slow down, and it needs to come to a strong home.
It's a process. Yeah, it's a process, and and I feel like
process of healing, right? On a large.
And I think we're gonna get there. Just gonna take a little more ignorance and a little more wisdom and a little more wisdom.
I don't know how much farther we could go.
They said a little more ignorance and a little
more and a lot more wisdom. Well, this is how you gotta look at it, right? You gotta look at it like this. As bad as it's getting, I had to, like, we're having this conversation, right? I had to take a step back myself and acknowledge it too, because a lot of music is like driven through the internet now and social media, which is a depiction, right? And sometimes we get lost in that, right? And there are a lot of other spaces, and people are real. Like when I did the Immortalized song, I dropped it last year. I think today. I think I put it out. But the thing is, it was like getting mixed reactions online, and I was feeling some kind of way. But then when I started actually going to speak to people, like I said, I was speaking to people about this idea and listen to the music. It was such a good energy, and people to people. And I feel like that's what we're missing in hip hop, because hip hop used to have that a lot. You couldn't come out with a record unless you was like people to people. You couldn't. It was like a people thing, right? And now it's such a digital thing that there's like, that's why I said like the curation is such like a lost art now, and now people there's no guidance. So because
I think of the hip hop industry like the market makers in the stock market, right?
Yeah,
because it can manipulate and control the activity that happens in the industry. What's heard, what's not heard, how people respond, how they don't respond, the cancel culture, all of those little nuances. Definitely very market makerish behavior.
Kiana, I watched
a lot of politics.
I watched a young man walk into the courtroom the other day for K Flock. It was K Flock's man's. He's the rapper that got, boomed at somebody in high fashion. Long story short, he's in Rikers now. His man's walked in there, and the first thing they told him, they was like, "Hey, you're gonna get 30 years. You should, help yourself and tell on your friend K." And he's just like, "Well, I'll see y'all in 30 years. I ain't telling on nothing," and left.
Right.
And I'm just like, as much as you see, the part that bothered me, VPR, I could respect the fact that he stood on what he had to stand on.
Right.
But the fact that this young man's going to be locked up for 30 years, even if he did or did not commit the crime,
right,
he's still losing 30 years of his life. So I could resonate with that. You know what I mean? Him being a street dude and him standing up and having his morals, I resonate with. But watching that man go down for 30 years and say that right in front of the judge, like, "Oh, I'll see y'all in 30 years," just like that, and left.
Right.
See, as you say that, I was that type of kid.
Right, and we don't know what that time.
So that's why my perspective on things is so weird, because it's like I was really that type of person, and I still am.
Right, but just in a different way.
Yeah,
exactly.
Elevate.
Exactly.
It's the loyalty.
It's the loyalty.
It's the integrity, but now towards something positive.
Yeah, and I had to learn that, and with a lot of. Probably like I try to tell kids, use school, don't let school use you, and be smart, because the thing is like I counted so much through school, and I wasn't the smartest person, but I used school like a hustler would, and used my opportunity. But the thing is, when I was younger, the streets are very competitive. It's like everybody want to be the guy, so you're doing things to like show people, like to get credibility and get clout. Yeah, so you would do things with your friends and like try to impress them. Like, watch this. I'm gonna be the one. They're gonna be talking about this. And then you get a reputation. Then you get a reputation.
Quick, watch this.
Watch this.
Then you get a reputation.
It happened after watch this.
Followed by
And that's something I used to internalize with myself. I didn't say it to them like, yo, watch, I'm gonna be the one who do this and show them. But it was something I internalized. And then when this happened to me, I had to make a clear choice for myself because I was stuck, and I was in a place where I went from being like a person in the street who was very keen to what I just said, but at the same time, now I'm sitting in a weird place because I can't necessarily do all those things physically, but I had a lot of people around me who would do it for me, or I could get away with a lot of more different things. And I was like, but it kind of turned me off a little bit because I was so turned off by what happened to me. And the way it happened to me, I was like, damn, nobody learned nothing from what. Why I came home and I'm hearing the same talk, being around the same people, and it started like to turn me off.
And
I'm like, yo, damn, why nobody learn from? Why nobody trying to move a little different around? Why nobody learn? So I started to like become a little more different and a little more smarter because I was like, damn, all right, nobody's learning, so I got to be the one to show and prove. So I started. But I still had this feeling inside of me that I wanted to be like show and prove, like be the guy in the street still. So I did it differently. I was like, you know what? A lot of these guys don't want to go to school no more. A lot of these guys don't even want to write a whole song about nothing. Like I grew up around the best spitters in the world, but none of them was writing complete songs, like complete ideas.
So I'm like, though, when y'all was freestyling, it was hard though.
Bars is hard. And I could do that too. We like the best of the best, right? So I'm like, but I got to take this and do it a little differently because this is like my competitiveness being like, I got to do it differently from all these guys because they're not going to do this. Just like if I was in the street, I'd be like, I'm going to go do this because they're not going to do this. So I'm going to show them. Right. So it's like that. It's still a watch this factor.
Yeah, you
had still a watch this factor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I see it now. Like it's still like the watch this factor. Yeah.
I love that.
I conversations like this, VPR, I love because these are the conversations that need to be had to change the culture around this. So tell us about some of the upcoming projects you're working on that you have going on right now.
Right now, like the still promoting the Never Take Me Out the Game joint, Ramp. We're getting our record company off the ground through a partnership with United Masters and Steve Stout Company. So we're working on that. This summer for the 50 years of hip hop, we're gonna be doing some events to highlight the disability community and culture roles through hip hop for 50 years, like during June and July. So working on that. Got some new singles coming. I got single with produced by Hit Boy. I'm going to put out like in the summer.
People you heard that VPR. He got a single produced by Hit Boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the summer. It's a summer to me. It's like a summer thing.
Great.
And
you gonna give me that exclusive and a drop though?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he needs that.
Please.
Yeah. And so right there, I'm trying to get this Mr. Waterz, the eventual Mr. Waterz thing going, but I'll be so busy but that's coming along too. Hopefully this spring. And other than that, just a lot of more inclusion things on the behind the scenes, just getting people more opportunities in front of the mic and behind the mic, on the camera, behind the camera.
Right. You're constantly building and constant awareness. And we love that. We love the energy that you bring always to your music, to the hip hop culture, to the messaging of, inspiration and hope. So before we round up here today, please let everybody know, number one, where they can follow you. And then we would like your perspective of our last message of love for the day.
Okay. So everybody can find me on 4wheelcity.com or at Mr. Waterz with a Z at the end, not an S, on Instagram. The Adventures of Mr. Waterz on Instagram. You could check out 4Wheel Citygram. And Ramp, you can check out Ramp too, ramp.org. I see it scrolling down at the bottom. So Ramp is there. And we got a bunch of artists with disabilities who are really dope on there. If anybody looking for some new music or talent, go check it out. We have a whole roster now on there. So that's cool. And the message on love, love is a tricky thing. People got to be careful with love. I say be careful with love. You know, you got to, because everybody interpretation of love is different. You know,
Love, I love it.
everybody interpretation of love is different. Some people love genuinely. Some people love to get something. So you got to know. You got to know it's different.
Amen. Use your discernment. We're not even mad at that.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us
All right.
today. And of course, we will have you back next season. I know you'll have some
Appreciate you, my brother.
big
All right.
things going on. We'll get that exclusive track and that drop for VPR Radio. And want you to go forth and have a wonderful and phenomenal day.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Keep
Appreciate
blowing,
it.
bro. Hey, I'm clapping for you. Every time I see a video, I'm liking it. I'm showing my peoples. I am
Appreciate it.
rooting for you, man. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah,
I love the
we're gonna keep it coming. We're gonna keep it coming. I love to do it, so it's like it's recreation for me. So the way the industry is now is fun for me. It's like, oh, I could just pick up my phone and film something and make a song and do that. All right, that's what we're gonna do.
Hey,
Yeah.
power to you,
Do it
man.
well.
Yeah.
All right, Namel. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
See you soon.
All right.
All right. Ciao. Partner.
Yeah.
Another freaking wonderful show. I mean, I'm feeling so vibey.
I love the conversations that we had just on the last two shows, and this interview. I really love the conversation. We went into depth with some of these problems in hip hop, and that's really my love for this show, my love for what we do here, my love for you, partner. And I just want to continue just bringing you guys great content. Thank you for tuning in.
And we will do that. And next week we have JD. So we're going to be having more really, really profound, in-depth conversations. So make sure you guys tune in and just go forth and be great and do it with love, because it's tricky. You got to have discernment, but come from everywhere with a place of love and you're going to get that back. See you next week, guys.
Later.